I'm back. Oh my god, did he do it? Did he, actually continue a video series? I can't believe it. I can't right now, man. Welcome back to the video series where I am taking on my insane gaming backlog through journaling. Don't worry, it still looks like a second grader's homework packet. I'm no counterfeited crooning cosmonaut, no apathetic aching argonaut. What do you think I am, some kind of bird brain? No, I'm real! Sorry, I've been listening to Taylor lately. Thanks for all the love on this series already. It doesn't go unnoticed, and y'all give me more drive to keep this up, so thank you. Just to give a refresher, I'm having a wheel choose a game each month from a list that I created of my backlog, and then I'm gonna write about that game in this journal. I'm not following any specific rules, I'm just having the wheel pick a game and going through this process in whatever way is the most comfortable and fun for me. You won't see much of the journaling process itself, but this is about having and talking about these new yet outdated experiences. Last month, we finished off the first video in this series with Detroit Become Human, close to finished but not quite done.
We're starting to get a little hit.
And then The Outer Worlds was chosen as the game that I would play in February. Not gonna lie, this month was also slow for the majority of it, but I picked it up at the end, I swear. I'll explain later, but please trust me. Some shit happened in my personal life because some shit is always happening in my personal life whenever I'm trying to work on any kind of project, but it's all good, and I'm feeling good now at the end of February, so it's fine. First things first, obviously, let's pick up where we left off with Detroit. I said last month that I would finish it, and I did just that, even though it took me until just a few days ago to actually do it. Now I can actually give my final thoughts, so let's have a bit more of a serious talk about the game for a minute. Finishing Detroit gave me such a strong, good feeling about this whole thing. I really liked this game, and I had a great time writing about it. I'm sure that'll keep up with more games further on into the year. Spoilers for later, but so far it has. Detroit Become Human was an incredibly well-structured, choice-based story game. I was fucking giddy when things that I decided to do at the very beginning of the game came back at the very end and made a big difference. I'll never forget you, John. You're my goat, man. Playing this with my wife Lydia was great because I got some perspective on how things could have gone had I messed something up somewhere, since she was aware of the game already. It was so cool sometimes finding out after a chapter ended that I made a choice or I maintained a certain standing that saved me from something utterly devastating. Aside from the general fun aspect of this kind of video game, I want to reiterate just how beautiful this game was in regard to more than just the visuals. So much effort was put into the sounds, the music, the voice acting, and the writing of each character, and combine that with it being a video game, it resulted in a better way to tell a story. I guarantee that if this game were to have been a show or a movie or something instead, I personally wouldn't think it would have worked as well, and I wouldn't have liked it as much. There's something special about this game being a game, because there's so much that a player can find and read and do on their own that's not part of the integral story. A TV series or movie will show you and tell you the story how it wants to tell it to you and generally how it would like to be interpreted, but your understanding of the story and the characters and the world of Detroit Become Human can be different from others depending on how you choose to approach it. I understand that I'm just basically regurgitating what these games try to advertise themselves as, but this is all coming from someone who didn't really care much for these types of games until really recently. Detroit does a very good job at approaching this storytelling medium, and I totally recommend it for anyone that's been skeptical of these games before, but still has some of that interest like I did. It's funny, it's depressing, it's sweet, it's so many things. I cared for Marcus, Kara, and Connor in a way that felt real. I was worried about them, their causes, and their relationships. I was anxious as all hell at a few just really intense moments in the story. I would have fucking cried had Luther died like the game was making me think he would. I was excited and scared when the other Connor that I predicted by accident showed up. I felt annoyed when Miss Kill All Humans and Marcus wouldn't stop fucking kissing. Bro, is this allowed? What can I say? I was immersed. Why are y'all naked? What the fuck? I'm going to give a general final opinion, or grade if you want to call it that, on each game, and that'll be formatted as such. From bottom to top, I despise this game, I hated this game, I disliked this game, I'm neutral on this game, I liked this game, I loved this game, and I adored this game. For example, a game I would say I despised would be Super Mario Sunshine. fuck that broken ass, incomplete, poorly designed. That's not correct. An example of a game that I adored would be something like Elden Ring, which is my favorite game of all time. I know, bold favorite. Only gonna explain it with words like this once in this video, because I feel like it'd be really annoying for me to explain this every episode. For Detroit Become Human, I'll say that I loved this game. Since I finished with Detroit in time, I'll be able to spin for another game without having to worry about being behind on the goal. Now, for the game that I've been waiting to talk about since it was chosen by the wheel last month, The Outer Worlds. Not to be confused with Outer Wilds, or The Outer Worlds 2. I don't have $70 for that yet. Did I finish it in a week like I jokingly said I would last month, or did it take me just about as long as you'd expect? Let's see. I'm sorry in advance to existing fans of The Outer Worlds, because I bet you're probably tired of hearing these comparisons, but I grew up with a bit of history with Bethesda games. Like most who are alive and have skin, I've played Skyrim before. And like most who are alive, have skin, and have some degree of autism, I've played Fallout as well. Skyrim was my first experience with a game of that style, but it also led me to trying out Fallout. Not gonna lie, I'd definitely say I'm more of a Fallout kind of guy these days. Fallout 3 is one of my all-time favorite games after all.
Nothing for you to worry about, Miss Almodovar. Let's see. Very well.
Come to think of it, I think that's the only Bethesda game that I've actually finished. I loved New Vegas, but never got super far into it. Skyrim was a huge part of my childhood, but I didn't care about actually really doing quests back then. But hey, at least I've played a good bit of Fallout 76.
Oh, brother, this guy
I really need to play Oblivion, and it is on the list, but it is not the remake or remaster or whatever the fuck the newest version is considered. I hope it's obvious by now that I'm fond of these open world single player RPG games where you can walk into specific places all over an open world and run everyone for their shit. I think I never finished most of them because I would always get too sidetracked having fun fucking around doing my own thing. That did happen with The Outer Worlds as well. But I also fuck with this game so hard that I also did finish it in a week. Let's talk about how I felt about Obsidian's take on this genre that I love. I can't quite recall exactly when I got The Outer Worlds, but I know I got it for my birthday 3 or 4 years ago, and it's just been doing as all of these games on my list do, being completely fucking ignored. I'm so upset that I treated this game that way because I'm sure I'd still be talking about it now if I'd played it when I got it. This game is set in an alternate timeline where capitalism wins in the 1900s and we somehow become an even more money-hungry world than we already are. Halcyon is basically a star system that was used to create a corporate haven of sorts where everything is slogans and work and money, money, money. Being honest, I might have liked this setting just as much as the Fallout series. They did such an incredible job at creating these worlds and places that feel lived in and real. Those slogans and businesses had so much thought put into each of them that, I'm a little obsessed. It's fucking insane just how much branding exists in this fictional world for so many little things. It does so much to contribute to the feeling that you're someone experiencing being awakened into a new and functional, semi-functional society and catching up with everyone else. You can buy and consume almost every item that I'd heard mentioned at any point in my playthrough. I'd hear about some sort of drink, I could buy it. I hear about some sort of fruit, I could go buy it. I hear about some candy bar. You know, you get the point. Also, I'd been noticing these board games and stuff that were hardly, if at all, focused on in any way, yet they were a consistent thing that popped up in many places. Yeah, we're using resources, whatever, shut up. These games are clearly board games that are commonly played amongst the people of Halcyon, but I'm left confused on exactly what it is and how they're supposed to be played since I'm new to this, just as my character is. I fucking love shit like this, and I felt it the entire playthrough. Anyway, funny time. This game was funny as fuck, in my opinion. Felt insane sitting in my dark corner, just giggling at the dialogue options. I named my character Grux, and he's drop-dead gorgeous and strong as a bull, but oh my lordy lord, is he dumb as fuck. The dumb dialogue choices in this game were so good. Your alien mind tricks won't fool me.
My what? Let's talk about this, please. I think there's been a crucial misunderstanding.
You're a crucial misunderstanding.
Okay, just stay calm and let me explain.
Hello? Hello? I hear boots out there. Wait, can I ask for boots?
Aw, help me, it's a talking door.
Hey! Watch what you're calling a door, holehead.
Pretty sure that's an intercom, Captain. See? There's a button.
There's more than one of you?
My original demand stands. Who's on the boy damn line?
Wow, you're awful snippy for a phonograph.
I'm not a machine, you hallhead. I'm talking to you through the radio.
Oh, please don't say that you'll go. My heart can't bear the news. Just knowing that you'll be 1,000 light years away if you do.
Well, that was surprisingly lovely. Got the voice of a siren, you do. That really brightened my day. Thank you. Still gonna need you to shut up, though.
It felt like all these towns and people were getting fucked over by some dumbass and nobody knew how or why. The combat features made fights more funny than intense for me because I found myself laughing every time I used tactical time dilation and an enemy would flail around in slow motion. I like a good emotional and serious game or movie, but humor is my shit. It's what I almost always prefer to indulge myself in. Humor can make you feel good even in some of the worst of times, so I always appreciate when a game can get a good laugh out of me. The Outer Worlds has a competent story with well thought out characters and important emotional moments, but it's broken up by plenty of humor and I was feeling good vibes the whole way. I know some people hate that word, but that's the only thing I can think of. Even if I was ruining an entire civilization at the same time. Also, I want to touch on this because it was something that specifically stood out to me. Exploration. I'm being so fucking for real when I say this, and I don't know if this is crazy to say because, like, I'm the Elden Ring guy of my friend group, but I think exploration was more interesting and better rewarded in the Outer Worlds than it was in Shadow of the Erdtree. I know, how could I say something negative about my favorite game's expansion, but like, dude, I spend so much time just looking around for fun secrets or loot in every game I play. I've played through Shadow of the Erdtree multiple times, and I would get so fucking annoyed when I'd find so many secret little areas or routes, and 90% of them just give you a smithing stone, which is completely useless by that point in the game. When I was randomly exploring some alternate route that I found in the Outer Worlds and stumbled upon one of the only 5 exclusive science weapons in the entire game by mistake, I felt like I may have jumped the gun a little bit since there was like a quest for those, but I actually felt good for having checked that area. I had like 50 hours in the Outer Worlds at the time of finishing the game, and I spent so much of that just aimlessly roaming. Even if I just found like ammo or money in a crate, at least those things had a use, and there was plenty of actual loot still hidden around the world to find. I fucking loved exploring in the Outer Worlds, and I just wanted to touch on that some because it is pretty refreshing for me personally. Playing the Outer Worlds felt like playing Fallout or Skyrim for the first time again. It reinvigorated my love for this style of game, and I'm wanting to go back and play some of my favorites from the past again. And obviously the sequel, but again, $70. I honestly want to go back to the Outer Worlds in my own time and get the Platinum Trophy for it. I also may play the DLC later, and I'm sure I'll talk about that some in the future if I do. I think this also made me more comfortable with trying out more of these kinds of games outside of Bethesda. Part of my issue with my backlog is that I grew up knowing certain developers and understanding that I liked what they made, but being too cautious to try what others made because I was worried it would mess with how I see the games I already liked. I'm already taking things from this experience that are going to permanently impact how I play video games for the rest of my life. I can't be so safe with what I play all the time. Sometimes, I just need to give something new an honest shot. So many new favorites could be hiding right in front of me and I won't know unless I branch out. It's about time I finally find some new favorites instead of being so stubborn about my existing opinions. For the Outer Worlds, I'll say that I loved this game. Now, since I managed to catch back up to pace in February, I'm going to spin for 2 games at once for March since 2 seemed to work pretty well before. Let's find out both games that I'll be talking about next month. Shit. Okay. Spin 1 for March gave us Yooka-Laylee. This is one that I've known about for almost 9 years. I like banjos, so I'm very excited to finally check this one out. Now for spin 2 for March. Oh shit, 3DS game, fuck yeah. Finally a 3DS game. I say that like it hasn't only been 3 months. I've been hoping for one of these since the 3DS was my shit when I was younger. I might burn through these 2 games pretty quick, so things could get pretty interesting this month. I'll keep y'all posted. See ya.